Alright guys, it's time to finally install a Grant quick release vehicle security safety system onto a Datsun of mine. It's gonna go on that steering wheel. I've got a few tools set aside to get the job done. A few bolts in the bag, some change. My factory steering wheel that no longer cuts it. Let's see if I can get a full shot of it. It's been rewrapped, but as you can tell, underneath this, it's all gone. So it needs to be pulled out and redone. So in the meantime, I'm gonna install a quick release in its place. Now I know part one I has started for my 77, and if we go out to here, you will see it waiting for its turn to get done because the steering shaft still needs to be replaced. Now on this one, I've gotten a little bit of a head start. I've gone ahead and disconnected the battery just so I can get started on it, and we're gonna go ahead with step one for removing the steering wheel, which is simply to go ahead and grab your horn, push it in, and rotate. Once you do that, it'll pop right off. As you can see, it's supposed to get locked in place onto these three holders. Spring comes out, then you're left with that nut that holds the steering wheel in place. Now, I already had the socket in place because I already need size. It is a 22 millimeter. Any standard 22 millimeter will fit. So you go on and put that on there, put it on a ratchet, or however you choose to take it off. Now the reason I'm going ahead and disconnected the battery is so that I'm not just honking the horn like a crazy man as I'm taking this off. But alright, now with both your feet, you're going to want to hold on to the steering wheel and just, there it goes. Now, once you crack it loose, you can do what I did and just cheat with an impact driver. Or not. Alright, so mine doesn't seem to have enough juice for it to get this done, so I'm gonna finish it off manually. Alrighty. We'll continue this by hand. Now obviously before you start this, you want to make sure that your steering wheel is somewhat centered before you even take it off. But as I'm moving it all about with the ratchet, I'll have to adjust that in a minute. Alright, and we're loose all the way. Alright, now this is going to be a bit of a pain because it feels like it's slightly locked in place. So some people recommend using a steering wheel puller. Let's see if I can get away without doing so. Alright, I'm going to pause it and use both hands for this, but I'll come back for this in a second. Alright, so I'm back. I was unable to pull it off by hand, so I went ahead and got me this guy. It's the part number at the top. Got it at O'Reilly's. It's just the standard steering wheel puller kit. You can get it at any parts store, really. So what I'm gonna do now, so I've already kind of mocked it up, so I'm gonna set it up on the steering wheel now. Now, this is gonna be tricky with one hand, but you set this on top of the flat area right there. Hold it, then you thread. You bolt through the hole and thread it in. It's nice and tight. Do the other one. And this thing is on its way out. Now, you simply make this snug. Put that right there. And now it's simply a matter of finding the right bolt to the socket for this, not bolt. Alright, so that's it. Then you simply tighten this up. And voila, you see our steering wheel. Is slowly starting to come off. Alright, I think it's to the point where we can get it by hand. Nope, not quite there yet. Alright, and our factory steering wheel is off. Easy peasy. Now we're left with this, our steering column. Go ahead and give it a visual inspection, make sure there's not going to be any nasty surprises here. Alright, so now we move on to the fun part, which is this guy. Now you want to orientate it to a point where you can slide it into the groove easy. So we'll go ahead and take this off so we can see. Now, all I've done from my last video to now is I've simply removed the 4 little Allen head bolts that held this in place. They're in a little baggie right next to in the center console, just so I could obviously take this out and thread it into place. Now, why aren't you going in? that's gonna have to get reconnected in a minute. Now, one thing to note when installing this is you want these little notches, since they're lined up with the steering wheel itself that we're gonna be installing, you want them to sort of line up towards the top. So when you bolt your steering wheel, you snap it in place, your steering wheel is facing the way it's supposed to be instead of, you know, cockeyed or whatever. So once you have that in place set right there, I ripped my gloves, so whatever. All I've got left to do, sorry for the introduction, but alright, so all I've got left to do is just thread the nut into place, tighten it down, reconnect this wire, which I shall do in a second, put the piece, put this back in place, tighten it down with its 4 bolts, and once that's done, snap the steering wheel in place. So I'll get started with obviously the easy part, which is to put this little fella in its place, then this girl. Go ahead and start it in. Put my socket back in place. Again, using the 22mm that I was using earlier. Alright. Feels nice and tight. No play, really. Still give it a few more snugs, just to make sure that it's not gonna go anywhere. Alright, now for this part, since I messed up and I ripped that connection off, I'm gonna need both of my hands, so I will be right back. Alright, so quick little update. I'm not gonna go with the same style connector as before. I'm gonna put spade terminals here so I can remove these later should I choose to. Since I didn't have any insulated ones here, I'm just gonna wrap this with electrical tape for now. Then I'll probably come back later and get insulated ones so I don't have to wrap, you know, keep a bunch of electrical tape under here. But this, obviously the female, here's the male end. The male end will go to this side. So yeah, that's where we are now. I'll come back once I get everything connected. Alright, quick update. Both terminals are connected, well, crimped on. So just gotta be connected, and I'm gonna wrap them in tape and slap this all together. Alright, so everything's connected. Just gonna loop that around under there. Set that in place. Now, gonna go ahead and tighten down these 4 little Allen head bolts that are over here. And getting these tiny little bit bolts ready. Alright, so there's one. Gonna go in very carefully and start it in. So there's one. There's two. Go ahead and snug this down some more. Oh crap. Alright, so this is a little too snug. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these up so I have room to move. Almost done. Alrighty. 1, 2. 3, and last but not least, 4. All right, she is all in place. Now all that's left to do is clip this in place. Oh, I guess it'll help if I unlock it. There, see? Beautiful. Unlock. I can release the mechanism. Press my wheel in place. And alright guys, she is in. Now I'm going to head and lock it in, take the key out. Alright, well, everything seems to be in working order. I thought I had a little bit of a binding issue, but no battery. Let's plug her in. Let's see what's going on. I'll tighten that down in a second. Huh. Seem to have lost my horn function. Alright, well, I'll check that out in a minute, but there it is. She is all installed. Alright fellas, hopefully this video will help somebody.